Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first of 4 prediction shows, live prediction shows, should I say, tonight with myself, Mr. J's Fight Talk, and Mr. Liam Tully. First up, how are we, boys? We all good?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, thank you.
Good stuff. Good to hear. Well, we're gonna start with the good of Friday night before we come to the not so good of Friday night. But we'll start on a positive note. We're gonna get the night off to a good start, haven't we? Anyway, and then we can have a little pick, and we've got a bit of UFC to come later as well. But Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano are going to rerun it. Madison Square Garden, the scene of the first fight, one of the best female fights ever. Katie Taylor just nicking it. Many people scored it to Amanda Serrano. It was incredibly close. MVP have dished out a hell of a lot of money to get Katie Taylor onto their promotion on Friday night for this one, boys. Quick word from both of you before we get the predictions just on the matchup. What chances do you give? Is the MVP promotion going to affect Katie Taylor? And yeah, just your general thoughts on the matchup. I'll start with you, Jay.
I mean, the matchup. It's probably the best fight in female boxing. Some of us might say it's one of the biggest fights in boxing if we're really honest in terms of accolades from both women, what they've both done in their respective and multiple weight divisions, professional and amateur. So yeah, obviously it's the second fight in what could potentially be a trilogy, on the 3 of the biggest fights in women's boxing. So historically, it's fantastic. In terms of the matchup, there's nowhere else really for either of them to go. The only fight that is out there or any other fights for either of them really is challengers stepping up to the plate. There isn't, them two are out there on their own, in my, humble, uneducated opinion, in terms of accolades and resume and, what they've done and recognition within the sport. Katie Taylor more so than Serrano, and I'm not, having a dig there, but we know that Katie Taylor's accolades heavily outweigh those of Serrano. So, it's a massive fight. I'm really excited. Not as excited as I should be because it's barely been mentioned.
Getting drowned out, isn't it?
It's getting drowned out, and it's a shame, really. I know they're benefiting as the athletes and the participants that they're getting substantially more money than what they would have done had it even probably been at Croke Park, on a sellout pay-per-view in Ireland, because it's stupid money. It's based off clicks, views, and YouTube and that kind of stuff. So it's totally different. But in terms of the fans' perspective, I believe that this fight deserved a bigger night. And I don't, it's a massive night anyway because of the main event. But I believe that this fight deserved its own big night, and we'll probably get
deserved its own headline.
Yeah, but, just a big night. It needed the fanfare and the build-up and the open workouts and the press conferences. And instead, I can honestly, my feed is all fight sports, right? All fight sports. And I'm telling you now, I'm not just saying this, I promise you, hand on heart, my feed, I have not seen a Katie Taylor interview in a fortnight. And I've seen one of Amanda Serrano. And the only reason she was on it was because they were talking to somebody else that's on the card. Mm-hmm. And she was in the gym. And, yes, Håkan inside live.
Yeah, love it. That's a nice name, that Håkan. That must be the name of the YouTube channel. Go and subscribe to Håkan's Ringside Live if you haven't already.
I'm really excited. I'm eagerly anticipating it. But on the flip side, I'm a little bit underwhelmed with the lead up for the girls. I think they deserved more. And I think if they weren't getting massively paid, there'd be a shitstorm. Because Katie Taylor's the biggest. Other than Claressa Shields, she's one of the faces of women's boxing, and the sport owes Katie Taylor more for me. The sport of boxing owes Katie Taylor a little bit more than what she's getting for me.
What do you think, Liam?
Okay. Yeah, it's difficult to disagree with anything Jay said there. For starters,
that's the first.
I haven't seen anything other than those 2 interviews you just mentioned from the girls at all. I mean, the open workouts were in the small hours for us in the UK, but when you woke up this morning, everything was Paul Tyson. It was Mike Tyson and then a little bit of Jake Paul. There was nothing at all from that fight, which is a massive shame because it isn't just the biggest fight in female boxing. For me, it's one of the top 3 fights to make this year in boxing, full stop. We've had some fantastic fights, but this rematch has been one we've really wanted to see because of how close the first fight was. Serrano less so than Katie Taylor had less options to go for. Obviously, Katie Taylor could have done a trilogy with Cameron. That's won all that rivalry. We know that was offered to her. We know there was talks there, but Cameron's obviously left Matchroom, left Jamie Moore. She's moved over to Queensbury. She's moving in a new direction. So this is where everything's headed to. Like you say, mate, it's the fact they're getting paid a wedge load of money is probably the only thing that's stopped either girl from pulling out or kicking up more of a stink, not getting the coverage.
Yeah, look,
it's a massive shame.
I don't think that they care, to be honest with you, about the lack of promotion. I think they probably knew what they were signing in for before taking the fight. You know, they're both getting historic paydays, which they both greatly deserve. They would have known that the circus act of Paul and Tyson was just going to take over the week. And in all honesty, they're going to go out, probably deliver the fight of the night on Friday night. But no one's going to be talking about it, is the sad reality. Everyone's going to be talking about probably, you know, the result of the main event, or, you know, whether it was dramatic. Whatever happens in the main event is going to overshadow it. However, yeah, exactly. However, they knew that signing up. They could have probably done their own card main event and, like Jay said, took a fraction of the purse, but they've gone this route. And credit to them, man. I'd have done the same if I was Katie Taylor or Amanda Serrano as well.
Oh, yeah, look, at this point in their careers, it's no longer about taking fights to please people. It's about sorting out your future, sorting out your kids, your grandkids, their children, etc., etc. It's about securing legacies for both their families at this point, which is, you know, why they've done what they've done, and take nothing away from them. There's no issue with that. It is just for us three sitting here as proper hardcore boxing fans that were absolutely buzzing for the first fight at MSG. It's a shame that this is being drowned out by the circus act that is the main event. I mean, I think I described this as the calm in and amongst the chaos this week. And that's exactly what it is. These two girls don't really trash talk. They don't really engage in anything brash outside of the ring. But you guarantee when the first bell rings on early hours of Saturday morning for us over here in the UK, it is going to transfix us for 20 minutes. And we'll wish there's more of it when it's over. Who wins? It really is a 50-50 fight. I know we're going to move into that in a second. It still is a 50-50 fight. They're both aging fighters. They've both had time outside of the ring. It's who's got more left, who's going to be able to deliver again, or do they both push each other on to a higher level?
Yeah, most definitely. Hawkan said I'm excited for the rematch, and he planned to go if it had been a headline like we're just alluding to a minute ago, rather than on this card. So I'm with you, Hawkan. I think traveling to Arlington, Texas would have been a little bit far for anybody to go from our neck of the world. But yeah, I'm going to pressure then, guys, for a prediction each. I'll start with my own. I believe Amanda Serrano is going to win the rematch. I think it'll be a close enough decision. I think she's I alluded to it yesterday. I think Katie Taylor is slightly on the slide now. I'm not talking like, you know, Josh Taylor on the slide. I'm talking about, I believe she's, and that's not a dig at Josh Taylor, by the way. I'm just saying he is on the slide. Yeah, respectfully, Josh Taylor.
We were called a cheater yesterday.
Yeah, just in case you're watching, Josh.
I said neither, brother.
For a change, you stay quite quiet, mate.
Yeah, but I think she is on the slide a little bit. I think her last few fights have shown that. She is 38 years old after all, and she's had God knows how many amateur fights. We talked about that last night. But yeah, I think Serrano's just that little bit fresher. I think she's a little bit quicker than Katie now. I think she hits harder than Katie. I think she's going to edge it, but like you say, it's going to be difficult for Katie Taylor on a rival promotion. But yeah, what do you think, boys?
I'll let you go. Yeah,
I said last night, my big fear is the fact it's on an MVP card, and like a lot of this, it's all being skewed towards a certain way to keep their fighters happy, to make the fights for them. But I'm going to go the opposite. I think a bit of British and Irish bias possibly, but I'm just going to back Katie Taylor. It's going to be a razor close fight again. It's probably going to be a round in it. Or what do you like? Do you like forward pressure? Do you like a boxer on the back foot? But for me, I'm going Katie Taylor in a close decision victory again for the second time.
Okay, 1-1 then. Jay's Fight Talk's got the deciding vote.
I think if it's razor close, Serrano would get it anyway. I don't think you're going to do Katie Taylor any favour.
How many fights recently have we seen that we've called as razor close?
I think she's managed by Jake Paul, so she's not going to get a decision. I'm sticking with my original pick. Katie Taylor's going to smash it to pieces. She's going to stop her late on, but it'll be some kind of head clash, or her eye will get swollen shut, or she'll have a cut. But I'm telling you now, Katie Taylor's going to rip the shit out of this girl, batter her, stop her, sling her belts on floor, and say, "That's me, done. I'm going to be a professional Irish dancer."
It's never just an easy decision, is it, for Jay's Fight Talk? It's always
But I'm
something.
picking Katie Taylor either way. You know what I mean? I'm picking Katie Taylor.
DJ Pat's in the house.
But as I always do, I'm picking some kind of freak, wave the ending. I always have random endings, and one in every 3,000 dropped in.
Yeah, once every 10 years they come in. Yeah,
every 10 years, mate. So no, I just think Katie Taylor's gonna have the fight of her life. She's gonna have to, because Amanda Serrano's faster than her, boxes in clusters, same as she does. So it's about who gets off first. And I think because of that, Katie Taylor's going to put on some constant pressure. She's going to use her size as an advantage. She's the bigger girl naturally. I think we'll see her use that for once. I think she'll slow herself down and she'll put a bit more on her shots rather than trying to catch with the last one of 6. I think she'll throw maybe 3, a little bit harder. And I think we'll see a slightly different Katie Taylor. She ain't got the engine, I don't think, to go tit for tat with Serrano. She'll lose on points if she does that, because Serrano can throw more. She's faster. So I think Katie Taylor's going to potentially change tactics, use her feet, slow her hands down, and throw a bit more power and look to get her out of there. And I'm going for that statement victory.
I think the way to look at it as well, the first 2 rounds in both the Cameron fights, you could tell what type of performance we were going to get from Katie Taylor.
Yeah.
It's easy to say if she looks like she did back in May last year, then you can probably favour Serrano. If she comes out like she did in the rematch with Cameron, then she's on it. You can tell that she's got, the eye of the tiger bit between her teeth. So those first 4 minutes will be a huge indication. Okay, it's a cliche to say, but you've only got to look at Katie Taylor's volume of work last year to know that that's how it's going to play out. It all comes down to how she starts. She doesn't get into her rhythm. She's going to be chasing her tail all night. When she's chasing her tail, she doesn't do her best work, and she loses quite emphatically, like she did first time rounds with Chantel Cameron last year. That's the way it goes for me.
Yeah.
DJ Pat's in the house. Katie still at UD, and Serrano's stepping up those weight classes. That is a factor as well. Katie Taylor's definitely the bigger fighter. He says Jay's Fight Talk's bang on the money.
Thank you.
Katie,
sorry, can I just ask a question completely out of what we're talking? You're a qualified referee, aren't you, Liam? It's rugby though, not football.
Rugby, yeah. Rugby.
That's a shame. There's a job going. David Coop, there's another video.
I've seen that other video, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, I had to.
Just lastly, DJ Pat, KT will pop her jab in and out, move quicker in the ring. She might connect and take Serrano out. Well, that's interesting. We've got Jay and Pat thinking of a stoppage here. I'd be very surprised if we see a stoppage, but I guess you never know. Katie's not, she's only had a couple of knockouts, has she not, in her whole career?
6.
Yeah, and when was the last one?
2018-ish was the last one. It's been a while.
She's always been a volume punter, hasn't she, really, Katie Taylor? Right?
She has, but she can bang.
Oh, no, yeah, she can bang.
She sits down on her shots.
The 2-minute rounds are what does for fights like this. I'm telling you now, if there were 3-minute rounds, I'd be way more confident that Katie Taylor would have stopped maybe 15, 16 of the girls that she's fought. Because she bangs pretty hard, but what Katie Taylor does is she's a front foot fighter, so she gets herself in front, doesn't she? And then not coasts, but continues to pick up the round. I think the 2-minute rounds force them both to do that, because if any one of them starts to slip behind, it's going to be very hard to catch back up, because they're both front foot fighters. If they get in front, they know what to do to keep it going, to sort of, it's not coasting as compared to anybody else, but for them, it's sort of coasting through the rounds. And I'm just gutted, that women's boxing still, it is the shorter rounds, because I think we're getting, as fans and fighters, we're getting robbed of different, more exciting.
Yeah, robbed of the viral moments, mate, aren't we? If you want to call it that. I think that's a fair assessment. Spider-Man's in the house. Big up Spider-Man. He's got Serrano by points. I respect Taylor, but she's old now at 38. Going Serrano on the...
she's about 18 months older than Serrano, brother. Yeah. People are forgetting that.
Going back to when Taylor's last stoppage was, it was March of 2019. She got a 9th round TKO. So the fight before Delphine Pursuit, she got a TKO.
Delphine Pursuit feels like a lifetime ago.
She's got the power there late as well.
Yeah, so she knocked. She dropped the opponent in the first round, and then
who was it?
power carries.
Any level?
Pardon?
Was it anyone of any note or?
It's for it was Rose Valentine, who was 14-0 at the time for the IBF and WBO lightweight belts. So it's 2 world titles on it.
Did you pay? You can see open practice other work. Serrano against the body, but Katie's used razor sharp. The punches was more edge with Katie Taylor. Okay, that's interesting. Look,
I'm telling you, man. You think I'm just being? I'm telling you, my Irish girl's gonna whoop her, mate.
There you go. Hawkhan's got it. He's got it. He knows. But yeah, big call from Jay's Fight Talk. But we're well versed to the JFT methodology by now. We know where he goes. He goes big or he goes home. We haven't mentioned Gustavo Lemos much since last Friday night. Let's put it that way.
What a prick.
I'm just getting my feet back under the table. I wasn't even going to go there. I wasn't even going to go there.
But then again, there's a Daniel Dubois for every Gustavo Lemos.
I am big enough to accept when I get it completely wrong. But you know what? When I get it right,
Hey, look,
insufferable.
To be honest with you, I don't keep note of our predictions, but I don't think.
Mine are dire, mate.
I don't think there's too many.
I think I've got one. I think Joshua's the only one I've ever called.
That's why we shout it from the rooftops whenever we get one. That's the you hear about it for the next 4 or 5 episodes. But yeah,
I'm not just saying that to be out there. I think that Katie's going to come out different. She has to. She knows what she's got to do. You know, she can't outpoint Serrano. It'd be very difficult. I mean, even if it was at home for her, Serrano's good enough for it to be difficult to outpoint her. She's that quick and that slick and that skillful. So I believe that she's going to have to change tactic and she's going to have to put it on her and get her out of there late. And I'm sticking with that, man. 8 and 9 TKO.
Like it. So we've got 2 for Katie Taylor. I'm out there with Serrano. Pat's on Katie Taylor. Spider-Man's on Serrano. Hawkhan's on Serrano. That just goes to show me how good a fight this is, man. We've got a very small pool of case study here, but we're pretty much split 50-50 with the 6 or 7 of us that have been involved with this chat in this short video here. So yeah, absolutely love it. It's going to be a great fight. It's ring walks around about 3:30 a.m. Thanks for that, Pat, for last night letting me know that. It's live and included with your Netflix subscription. We will most definitely be there watching and here for the live watch along. We've got a few more videos to come tonight. We're going to, just a disclaimer, we are going to talk about the main event in the next one, Jay's Fight Talk. I've managed to pull his arm around to joining us for this one, but I know he might have a few choice words to say. But that's what the people want, Jay. That's what the people tune in for. So, catch us in a couple of minutes' time. We'll be talking about Paul and Tyson, Hawkhan, Pat, Spider-Man. Thank you very much for joining us, Jay, Liam. Always a